what's going on YouTube? Donald Jackson. Fuck. Hey, what's going on YouTube? Donald Pink Ranger Jesse coming to you live from Misawa, Japan. Got some questions posed to me by Freddie English, and I'm going to go ahead and answer those questions. Forgive me in advance. I'm going to be looking down at my smartphone here to read the questions. So I'll jump right into it so don't waste no time here. I don't actively fish. I have been fishing before. I like fish sticks a lot, so I do like fishing. So don't hate me out there, guys, for not fishing every day, but I don't. So drifting and racing is my primary thing and what I do most of the time. Basically, in drifting, everybody has their own style to get it done. Before I even talk about how to perform a drift, I'll say, if you haven't already watched, go check out YouTube and check out the Drift Bible by K2Tier. It breaks down all of the basic steps to get you going and starting out drifting. Now, once you get your basics down and you develop your own style, most guys, some guys with the low horsepower Hachirokus or 8086s, they'll prefer a lot of clutch kicking because they don't have a lot of power if they don't change the 4AG out. Then you have a lot of guys starting out, they use a power over technique, which is pretty much hitting the gas as you exit out the corner. And then you have a lot of guys like myself, I prefer like a feint style drift. So basically, like, initiating your drift is going to be how you get sideways. You don't want the car to go sideways by itself, but you want to actually control the car at all aspects. The biggest thing I learned once I got to Japan was actually controlling the car and making the car do what I wanted to do, not like, throwing it sideways and then waiting for the car to react and kind of drive you. So again, better than I can explain it, just go to YouTube and check out the Drift Bible by K2Tier and you'll get squared away with that. What I think about Formula Drift, I have a lot of buddies who I've met via Facebook, some guys I've met in person. I really don't have an opinion, honestly, of Formula Drift because I've been living in Japan for about 9 years now, and Formula Drift started to kick off like right around the time I left for Japan. Everybody has their opinions. My opinion is just my opinion and is meaningless, but Formula Drift is definitely, D1 GP, of course, is the pinnacle where everybody wants to drive it, but the Formula Drift is right there next to it. But you can't overlook the British drift scene and also the scene in Australia. So I don't have anything against the V8 thing, but I don't own any V8s. I don't have any urge to fit V8s in any of my cars. When I do watch it on live stream, it kind of seems like you're watching NASCAR. It's all the same sounds. It kind of looks like drag racing a little bit. So I know a lot of guys are gonna probably hate the way I'm not praising it, but that's just my personal opinion. I never drove in Formula Drift. I haven't even acquired enough points over here to get D1 GP license yet at the top level. So when I get to that point, if I'm able to drive in Formula Drift, I'll take care of that when the time comes. But my overall opinion is it's a good organization. They actually influence D1 GP, so a lot of guys comparing D1 GP to Formula Drift and blah 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 is better and it's better. D1 GP is taking a lot of hints from Formula Drift because Formula Drift, is American based and Americans are good at marketing and selling themselves. Something the Japanese are not really into because they don't really talk about themselves and things like that. So that's my take on Formula Drift. Like everybody, I ain't gonna lie, I went to high school, empty parking lots. I went to back roads. I had my favorite J-turns. I used Google Maps to find places where it wasn't houses at, where people couldn't hear noise. Biggest thing I did when I started was I would go out in the rain only. Number one, because I couldn't afford tires, and number two was because people couldn't hear their tires screeching. So I'm not gonna sit here and say don't street race and don't do all that stuff. I'm 32 years old. Everybody's at one point kind of done it, and you kind of grow out of it, which I have grown out of it. So I will say that once you let this drift car go by real quick. I will say once you actually go ahead and get into drifting, and when you hit your first legal event, most of the times for most guys, because you get so much track time, you're not worrying about cops, you get to focus on actually drifting and everything. Most guys, once they hit the track the first time, they don't go back to actually street drifting because, number one, you get your car taken, you get tickets, you get your license taken. So overall, it's just not worth the risk. On the street, it's actually exciting because you're doing something bad. So I guess like the adrenaline is flowing. But when you crash really bad and you mess up property and stuff like that, it's just not good to go. So that's my take on that. I've been drifting since, like I said, I started actually drifting in 2003. Just got a lot of practice and a lot of seat time. I came to Japan, a lot of seat time, and naturally you're going to get better, so you do a lot. As far as the pro thing, a lot of guys know I've been competing in under D1 divisionals. I haven't got any points, like various issues, been going to Iraq and maintenance issues, money issues, and things like that. I haven't got my street legal license yet, which you need before you can get pro D1 GP license. I did acquire recently pro license under King of Asia, King of Europe, and but like I was having a conversation the other day, a lot of guys when they see like pro drifting, they normally associate that with D1 GP, F Formula Drift, the British drift, drifting community, or Australian drift, and like I said, I don't have pro license in any of those yet, so I am technically a pro under King of Asia. The way I got into it was basically just driving a lot, man, and building a video, video documents and things like that. And it's pretty much how I got into pro drifting, man. Everybody does it their own way. I have sponsors, but I'm partially sponsored. Nobody pays my way. I spend a lot of cash, and I work hard. I do a lot of side jobs, engine builds, painting, whatever I gotta do to build fun. So to get into pro drifting, I will say straight up, it's not like you see on TV. The guys having fun, the guys winning and all that stuff, but there's a lot of behind the scenes that you don't see, and it's not glamorous. It's fun to drive there, but it's not an easy feat, but it's fun. Everybody has different ideas about what a career and a job is. For me, the job, unfortunately, if you got a day-to-day job, you got to do what you got to do to make money. Everybody does. For drifting, I don't. When I started to feel like it was a job, which I wasn't getting paid for, I was paying to do it. That's when it started not becoming fun, and that's honestly been the last 3 years. Drifting it started out as being fun and everybody's having fun and learning new things and hanging with buddies. So if you're not physically being paid to drift, like, don't take it too serious, man. Have fun with it or you'll get burnt out really quick. I've been doing this, like I say, about 18, 19 years overall, automotive, the drifting. Been drifting since, like I say, 2003, so I haven't been drifting the whole 18, 19 years I've been in the game. But it's not my dream. It's not my dream job. If I'm getting paid every day to do it, then yeah, cool. That would be it'll be a dream job. Anybody would love to get paid to drive cars all day. So that's my take on that. My first drift car was the S13 240SX. Got that for about $1,000, ball tires, drove it home with no tags on it. Started out the game illegal. The car I'm drifting now here in Japan, well, I had that backtracking a little bit. I had a 240 for about 5 years. I had K single overhead cam 89. Then I blew that because I was in the Honda scene and all that stuff, and kind of was revving it high and blowing stuff up. I had about 3 or 4 dual overhead cam Ks, and I went KT back in maybe 2006, and I was a KT guy because number one, couldn't really afford the SR20. Number two, I hated the SR20 fanboy stuff, and then number three, I wanted to actually learn turbo systems and how they work, so I built it myself instead of just buying a plug-and-play system. What I'm drifting right here in Japan is my competition car is a S13 Silvia with an RB26 in it. My practice backup car is the S13 with a 1JZ in it, and I have a bunch of other cars, R33s, and all that stuff you can see once you follow my YouTube. So that's pretty much it. basically I was joined the military, was Air Force for about 6 years. Joined the military back in 2005, and I joined solely to actually get a chance to come to Japan. And it worked out a lot better, than I thought. Actually, living here in Japan, been here 9 years. So that's the route I took. A lot of other guys will do like a jet teacher, or they'll be an English teacher. Pretty much what a jet teacher is, teach English in schools. So that's a different route you can take to get here. You get a federal job, but if you really want to get to Japan, just kind of everything you do every day, kind of focus that on trying to actually get to Japan, and it'll kind of work out. For me, like I said, I went to the military 6 years, spent 3 years in Iraq, and it wasn't easy, but paying off now. So. Ironically, I did just meet the Drift King back in when I competed in King of Asia, and which is a partnership between King of Europe and a new series here in Japan called King of Asia. Keiichi Uchida-san is actually one of the people who actually legitimized the event and actually got it out. It had drivers from all over the world. It had of course Daigo Saito, Naoki Nakamura, and they actually took first and second place. And another driver by the name of Saito, I forgot his first name, so it was two Saitos and stuff like that. So the Drift King, he drove he was testing up the RSRRs for hot version that same day, driving 3-ups, Mikami-san's R33, Ford R33, and also driving a new FT86. And so it was awesome to do my first pro event, and also get to see the guy that I watched for many years test out cars right there live. I don't recall Keiichi Uchida-san's age, but he's up there, and he's still awesome in drifting, fast, and he's pretty crazy out there on the track. So it was awesome, after all these years to see the guy that you watch on TV a lot drive. I'm not really starstruck by many people, so I'm pretty chill around things like that. But I was like, man, I'll meet him again because I'm here in Japan. But I did. My buddy was taking pictures with him, so I was like, man, screw it, I'm gonna go ahead and get a picture with him. And I actually talked to him in full Japanese, which kind of shocked him because there are a lot of gaijin or a lot of outsiders here that speak Japanese, but there's a lot that don't. So it was kind of cool to carry a conversation with Uchida-san in Japanese, and that was cool. My car didn't perform well that day, so I was kind of bummed about that. But I did show a little bit of what I can do, but it's all good. I am not the Black Stig, sorry guys. I drive a lot of cars, I can handle my own, but not the Stig, sorry about that.